Okay, we're now going to talk about the responsibilities of payroll and approving everyone's time. So we go up here to the top to the attendance tab, and then we go down to timesheets. Now this is gonna take you into your current pay period that is the active one. So right now it's October 19th to the 31st. We can switch through if we need to view other ones. Once they are closed, they are no longer editable. If we find a mistake that was made, we can adjust the current pay period to make up for the mistakes made, so it's not the end of the world. But it'll always be the current one that you're viewing. All you need to do as a manager is approve the time that each employee has. So as we go through each employee, it's going to show all the punches that they have throughout that time period. One thing I want you guys looking for is scheduled hours versus worked hours. So we will notice right here that this employee overworked her shift by 2.5 hours. That's a red flag for me. So I'm going to be asking things like, why are you not staying within the budget? What was the reason? There's some things you can do to help me out so I don't have to bug you though. So if you hover over this midsection, you see these buttons that pop up. So if we click add a note, you can leave a note as to what happened. And here I know this employee, this was a training day. So she worked a little longer than was on the schedule. And so that's not a big deal. I do allot 2 hours per employee for training, and I don't put it in the budget. So know that as you train in your first weeks, you're going to be over 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours if you have 5 employees that are on training the first week. I expect that. That's in the budget at the end of the year, but it's just too hard to try to say what days you're going to have training, so I don't assign it to a specific day. I just add it to the end of the season. So know that that's going to happen, not a big deal. But I just want to know as to why it's over the budget. So we hit training day, and then I hit enter to save that note. Now when I get on and I'm confirming payroll, I see this note. I can click on it and say, oh, this was a training day, that's why she's over budget. I don't have to bug the manager now and say, hey, why did Marie overwork her shift? So we go through each employee, we verify that the times are in, that it's not, there's no mistakes, and we hit approve. As we hit approve, we see the green check mark next to Marie's name. So we move down to the next employee, verify shifts. She's good. She's, a half hour short. She's a couple hours short there on Saturday. I assume one of these other employees will be a couple hours over to kind of counteract that right there. There's a 1.5 hour overage. So that's all we're doing. We're going through and approving each employees. Now, this is a good example right here on Penny. I'm going to hit approve, and it's going to pop up saying, hey, there's something missing. So on Friday, Penny had a shift scheduled and there's no time. So it's just warning you like, hey, they had a schedule that they didn't punch in for. So did this actually happen, and do we need to make an entry to adjust that? And it did happen, and she just didn't clock in. So this was the night we set up the store. So if I want to add time to that, I'm just going to come in and say she got there at 8:30 p.m. and we'll hit enter. And they left, I believe, 10:30 p.m. and we hit enter. And now that time's been added, and it would let me then continue on. So if I hit approve now, it's going to still say, something's missing, it's incomplete. Now if I look down here on Tuesday, October 28th, she hasn't clocked out yet. That is today, so that's why she has not clocked out. And it won't let you approve anything if it's missing punches, etc., etc. If she did not work this day, you can click on the little schedule. Let me find here. You can click on the calendar, and you can hit approve, and then it takes it away, and you're then able to approve the shift. So that is how you add and adjust time to employees. Anytime you make a manual change, so let's say Andrew forgot to clock out, and this needs to be changed to 6 p.m., or he clocked out early and it needs to be 10 p.m. and you need to make a change. You can make the change. You just click on it and you enter the time that they actually clocked out. I need a note as to what happened, because I'm going to get a notification that there's been manual changes made to the schedule. And so I just need a note. Why did you change it? He forgot to clock out on time, whatever. That is just limits me from having to reach out to you and say, hey, what happened? Why are you changing the schedule? Et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to change this back because it was legit. And then we hit approve. Now, this needs to be done at the end of the pay period. If you do this every day, the green check marks are going to go away as soon as they clock in again. So don't do it every day. It doesn't help much at all. Now, if there's changes that need to be made, do those as soon as possible so you don't forget about them. But you'll wonder why the next day the green check marks are gone, and it's because as soon as they clock in again, they have a new shift that needs to be approved. So I need time approved the Monday after the end of the pay period. Pay period ends on the second Friday. Pay period starts on that following Saturday. So that gives you Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I need them approved so I can submit payroll. If I submit payroll on Tuesday, most people will receive their pay Wednesday and Thursday. Payday is not till Friday, but they have these fast pay perks, things that When I Work does. So they will get paid early if you're done on time Monday. Monday's your deadline as a manager to have your shifts approved.